What is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumps back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we've done a bit of fast forwarding, and we've dove about a week and a bit ahead, and we have information for both 6 Plus Blackbeard and the new Kunzuna Rare recruits that will be arriving with the next Kunzuna Clash. So in today's video, we're going to break down the new characters, mainly taking a look at this man on screen, Mr. 6 Plus Blackbeard, and breaking down the differences between his 6 Plus and his 6-star. Now, this will be without his level limit break. I imagine this Blackbeard will be getting a level limit break as well. But this information is basically just with his 6 Plus. So with his level limit break, I imagine they'll probably give him the Sabo treatment. They'll just give him a little bit extra on top of what he already does. Maybe just add an extra 0.25 to the multipliers. Do all that sort of stuff there. As with Sabo 6 Plus, level limit broken and not level limit broken, there wasn't too much discrepancy. But let's take a look at Blackbeard. He's a driven powerhouse unit with slotbind, crit, and enrage. His support stays the same going on the Blackbeard Pirates, the original Blackbeard Pirates anyway, giving a 2.5 times attack boost anytime they use their special. To me, this Blackbeard was good on release. He was a lot of fun. Like, a lot of people slept on him. However, with the release of Super Tandem Blackbeard, Super Tandem Blackbeard just still, in my opinion, overshadows this guy, because I imagine, well, I've seen what this guy does, but imagine the whole back-ended damage situation. It's not as fun as utilizing something like Super Tandem. Nevertheless, they did give him quite a nice buff, so let's take a look at what he actually does. His captain ability boosts int and strength characters' attack by 4.75, HP by 1.75, and boosts his own attack by approximately 5.25. So adding the strength color is interesting, very similar to what they did with Sabo. They changed Sabo's color completely, however. They've added strength into the mix here. This is, very interesting because it kind of brings characters like Akainu, 6 Plus Akainu into play, and then doing some synergy with those teams. But it makes sense because this guy came out alongside Super Type Sabo, Super Type Luffy, and being able to use this guy with those characters does make sense, but also doesn't make sense at the same time. To me, I immediately think of Straw Hat Crew with what this guy actually does, and it's going to be a lot of fun actually putting some teams together with the combination of the two. He makes int and strength characters, int and strength orbs have matching slot effects, so int has strength and strength has int, and then completely removes special bind and paralysis, and reduces his cooldown by 2 turns at the start of the quest at the start of the crew's next turn after receiving damage. So the taking damage and giving 2 turns of cooldown thing is exactly the same. However, they've added the complete removal of special bind and paralysis. And for me, this is huge. Mainly because if you run 2 Blackbeards and you run a chain locker, you can actually get around a lot of annoying debuffs and literally just hit with Blackbeard. Blackbeard is obviously going to be all your back-ended damage. He's a 5.25 to himself. So he's going to be doing a lot of damage, and getting around Special Bind means you're always going to have access to his special, which you do need to prop a lot of times. Paralysis, completely removing paralysis, obviously means he can attack, and really if you use a Chain Locker, you only really need to attack with 2 units. So, pretty big buff to his captain ability. Getting strength is nice, it's like a cherry on top, but I think the biggest thing for this unit is the Special Bind and the paralysis. Nevertheless, it's going to be interesting to see what we can do with stuff like Straw Hat Crew, because with obviously Sengoku, having the 4 times attack and the 4 times orb boost, which this guy still actually does, is good, but it's only 1 unit hitting with that 4 times attack and 4 times orb boost. However, the multipliers did go up significantly. So he reduces all enemies' HP by 10%, ignoring all defensive effects, reduces enemies' threshold by 7 turns, so this must be at level limit break 5. This 100% has to be a level limit break 5. Yeah, this has got to be a level limit break 5. This makes sense, because shout out to Dilba. I actually caught Dilba's video when I was driving home. I'll leave a link into the description to all this stuff. I was listening to his video, and it was actually different, so this is actually pretty nice. This is at level limit break 5. Cool. Man. So his captain ability didn't get a change, but from what I can see, his captain ability might have increased, maybe 4.75, but otherwise it didn't get that much of an increase. He's special, reduces all enemies' HP by 10%, reduces enemies' threshold by 7 turns, which is pretty nice, and then changes character's slot, including block slots, to his own type, boosts his attack and slot effects by 1 turn based on the number of times you use Groundbreaking Shockwave, which is his special. So just straight off the bat, you get a 3.5 times attack boost for the first time they use it, and ult boost. That is incredibly powerful. It used to start at 2.5, then 3.5, then 4, something like that. We'll have a look at what Blackbeard does after this, but now it goes 3.5, 3.75, 4 times. Now, I really wish it went up to like 4.5, or it went to like even something crazy like 5 times. But what they've sort of done to rectify this is they've included the manipulation of a block orb, which is huge, by the way, as well as giving threshold removal, which obviously nullifies his damage significantly. So what I think they've done with this Blackbeard is very good, because they've actually increased his numbers, but also given him the utility to get around those annoying debuffs that really restricted him, like Special Bind, Paralysis, Threshold, all that sort of stuff really hindered Blackbeard. But now you have ways of getting around it just with his kit as well. Remember, every time you take damage, you're actually getting your specials back. So getting 7 turns of like Threshold is actually pretty interesting. So that's actually pretty nice. If we have a look at his super type, they basically just increase these numbers as well. He adds extra 250 base stats to himself as long as you get his attack over 500 times. So nevertheless, like, Blackbeard's a pretty good unit. I'm pretty interested to see what we can do with content. Like right now, like, it doesn't really matter how amazing they make these units, because like the content is already at the point where it's like, well, these characters could really do it anyway. But it's nice to see that they're giving these characters good buffs, usable buffs, and fun buffs. I just really wish they gave us content that could really showcase these characters and could really benefit from having these like crazy abilities. Like, if we had a game mode where you could like, it was like just see how much damage you can get with one unit, this unit would be awesome for that. Or even something like Sengoku would be awesome for that, because you could get the 4 times attack, the 4 times orbs for one character, and then you can back end all your damage just to see how much damage you can do with literally one character, or that you could do with something like Straw Hat Crew in their final tap. I would take their final tap out, but something like this Blackbeard would be a god for that. But unfortunately, we don't have the content to really showcase that. Nevertheless, he is very, very cool. As for Blackbeard himself, the original Blackbeard, the big difference, as you can see, is the multipliers go up by 0.5. The HP goes up by 0.25. He gives himself an extra 0.25, and then gets rid of the reducing recovery. So you can actually heal with this Blackbeard now, which is really cool. And then he's special, obviously, instead of starting at 2 times, starts at 3.5, and then it goes, instead of 2, 3, 4, it's 3.5, 3.75, 4. And as you can see, you can get through block orbs now, and you have threshold there too. So, big buff to this guy. Like, a very big buff, while also keeping the gimmicks that he already had. Alright, so the final thing we're going to talk about quickly is the Kunzuna Clash Sugo Fest. As always, with these regular Kunzunas that aren't super bosses, I wouldn't recommend summoning here. Unless you're looking at picking up something like maybe X Drake, Beast Pirates, Toki, Fire Tank Pirates. Those legends are very good, but I would never go crazy on these banners, especially if you're free to play, or even if you splash a little bit of money on the game. If you're going to do anything, the 5th step is always the most desirable. Recommended character is great. New character is awesome, because you'll pick up one of the 2, either X Drake or Coby. But as you can see here, Sengoku's a recommended character, which is nice. The Beast Pirates are there. But if you do go to that recommended character step, just be mindful that you do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units there. 4 are rare recruits, one of them's Blackbeard, so it's not a great recommended character step. Nevertheless, we have 2 new characters, and the first character we have is an X Drake, who is a strength unit, hence the whole Blackbeard becoming a strength unit sort of information. He has stats as his support, and he's a slasher powerhouse within rage and critical hit. His captain ability, who cares, but he gives 5 turns of attack down. That's very weird that it's 5 turns and not 6. Normally, these Kunzuna rare recruits have 6 turns of everything. Reduces damage by 70%, reduces all defense up and damage reduction by 5 turns, and boosts strength, slasher, and powerhouse characters' attack by 2.25 for 1 turn. So, he's interesting. Like, I really wish he gave all defensive effects. Reduced damage taken, 70% is kind of whatever. Attack down is god tier, but only 5 turns. Like, what makes these Kunzuna records so good is they give 6 turns. And Strength Slasher Powerhouse, I like that they're giving an attack boost. A good attack boost of 2.25, by the way, to the, like, 2 classes and a color. But, like, it doesn't have that much crazy synergy with what we already have within the game. So, X-Drake's kind of just there. I don't think he's that desirable, in my opinion. If all of the things he does with 6 turns, would be much, much different. Next, we've got Coby, a fighter cerebral. He has stats for his support and has dex damage reduction while enraged as well. He goes down to a 13-turn cooldown, and his special changes block orbs to tandem slots. Okay, that's interesting. Reduces enemies' threshold duration by 5 turns. paralysis and blind duration by 5 turns, sets the chain multiplier to 3 times for 1 turn, and if the crew has a locked chain multiplier status, further increases it by 0.25. So, I really like giving tandem orbs, like, that's great. However, the combination of bind, paralysis, threshold, like, again, it's all 5 turns. Chain lock, obviously, is never as desirable as a chain boundary unit, but utilizing this guy on a super tandem team, where you can actually get super tandem orbs, increase a chain boundary effect, like something like Ben Beckman and Lucky Ruse, something like, that's just hypothetical, by the way, it's not, don't take that for a grain of salt, but, like, he could work as very nice synergy for characters like that in the right situation. But it's just very weird that they've gone back to 5 turns and not 6 turns of paralysis, 6 turns of bind, 6 turns of threshold for Coby and X Drake. But nevertheless, that's going to wrap up the video. The big thing that we're all excited for is the 6+ and the level of record of the 6+. So let me know your thoughts of the Blackbeard in the comment section below. And if you're summoning on this particular banner, let me know down there too. While you're down there, belt the like button for me. If you're new, hit the big red subscribe button. Most importantly, though, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Late!